statement. Michael Jordan, look, your face is like, is that real? Michael Jordan announced today in The Undefeated he's making a $1 million contribution to the International Association of Chiefs of Police and a $1 million contribution to the Institute for Community Police Relations and the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. Here is Jordan on his decision. Quote, as a proud American, a father who lost his own dad in a senseless act of violence, and a black man, I have been deeply troubled by the deaths of African Americans at the hands of law enforcement and angered by the cowardly and hateful targeting and killing of police officers. I grieve with the families who have lost loved ones, as I know their pain all too well. Michael Jordan, your reaction?
You know, there's a lot of people who are going to say it's about time. I'm not going to be one of those people. I think when Michael Jordan finally does something, we should not say he finally did something. He's doing something. And Michael is one of those guys who doesn't do anything like this lightly. He's probably been thinking about this for months and deciding after all these years, you know what, I'm just going to come off my stance now. Because when something strikes you emotionally and something hits you right to your core, you have to say something. And I think, you know, that's like saying somebody who goes to a soup kitchen is not doing enough, right? Why don't you go to a soup kitchen on Thanksgiving and Christmas?
Right.
He's doing something. Let's not focus on what he hasn't done all these years.
But it is fair.
The fact that he is making a statement like that, because he is that big of a star. He is an iconic star in this world. And when Michael Jordan does something, everyone else who looks up to him will take notice.
Is the value of him doing it now the same as it would have been at the height of his career when he notoriously would not take stands?
Well, it wouldn't have been the same value because not the same risk involved. And when you talk about the risk, you talk about the reward and that balanced relationship. It's interesting. This is a balanced and inclusive response from an athlete, post-Muhammad Ali, who's had the greatest influence in this world. Just leaving Las Vegas and watching the AAU circuit and how big that business is when you can't walk down the street and not see a 15-year-old kid who's 6'7" already in flip-flops and socks. And you're like, they all want to be Jordans. And guess what? I know some people say too little, too late. Some people will say better late than never. I say, Michael Jordan, watch this snowball into an effect that's going to be great. And when Jordan speaks, I think a lot of people listen outside of the sports realm as well. So I applaud him. It must have took something like this, and you think about both sides, that affects us all. If you think about the black citizens, we know that unjust treatment will bleed beyond the borders of the black community. So you can't stay protected because you're not a black person. And we know that the police and their anxiety and the fact that now they're coming to work with more of attention towards the people that they're protecting and serve, black or white or others, that is not a healthy place. And I'm glad Jordan is trying to grab both sides and trying to make this all one.
In fairness to those who said, you know, too little, too late, or, oh, it's about time. It is a lot easier. I mean, I think we can all agree without trying to be a jerk about it, but it is a lot easier to make a stand when your career is done, your active career is done, your empire is forever. It will never go away.
Right.
That Jordan logo, that's it. It's never going to be gone. So I think some people do have sort of a, again, I don't care. Hey, at least you're doing something. Something affected you. You decided to put your money where your mouth was. That's all good. But I do understand as well those who are like, really?
Well, yeah, because you're talking about the double bottom line as in business. A lot of times they want to say profit and philanthropy. They want to say, okay, is your spirit in it as well as your resources? This could look like just resources. Jordan, $2 million. What's that? Like 8 sneaker sales to him. Like, it's like whatever. But then the spirit of it, for him to take a stance when he hasn't before, it must have moved him, and hopefully this will move others.
Yeah, the money is not anything to me. It's the fact that it's Michael Jordan doing it. You're like, oh, well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That never happened before.
Right. We'll see.
Social issues not going anywhere. This weekend, WNBA rescinded its fines for players and teams who wore T-shirts during pregame warm-ups to show support of citizens and police involved in recent shootings. That was only done after heavy criticism from both its players and everyone in the media. WNBA issued a statement. While we expect players to comply with league rules and uniform guidelines, we also understand their desire to use their platform to address important societal issues, because when else do you make a change? Good move, right? This was the right thing for the WNBA to do?
This is a bad move for them to rescind the fine. And I understand that's going to sound controversial, but let's talk through this and let's tread lightly because these are some heavy issues. One, let's not conflate the penalty with the protest. The penalty should have been put in place and the protest should still occur. But you have to figure out when, and I'm talking to athletes, I'm talking to my peer group, the athletes, of when to protest, because I'm not going to damn them in their protest, but it's been too many times I've seen us athletes in protest in a lazy fashion. Oh, what time's the game? 1 o'clock. Oh, it's 12:55. Let me write this on my wristband and go out there. Oh, that's a uniform violation, but that's a protest. Oh, are the T-shirts in yet? Yeah, they're in. Put them on. Warm up in them. Sweat in them for 15 minutes. Take them off and never, ever show up at the soup kitchen. So I challenge the athletes the other 21 hours. When we understand that the lights and the microphones may not be on you as brightly, but still, that is a moment to make change. The other 21 hours, every single day that you're not on the court, instead of picking the one time when you know this is in protest, but this is also the wrong thing to do in terms of the violation, and you still pick that moment. I just want to challenge everyone. If you are doing a lot, great, but grab somebody else who's just putting on a T-shirt just to do a uniform violation.
Well, listen, when the WNBA finally did this, the story became about them and not what they were actually protesting. I mean, that was my issue with this the whole time, is that you're not necessarily you're not calling attention to your cause now. You're calling attention to the WNBA being slow to respond to this.
Yeah.
And I think this hopefully will be
But whose fault was that?
Right. I think it's the WNBA's fault for being slow to respond to this. Adam Silver and the NBA have been very good in recent years of allowing their players to have some level of freedom of expression while also working with them to say, okay, this can't be every game. This can be a moment where you protest, where you can use your stage, but they work with the players so that they can do it in a way that's not necessarily violating the uniform code every single time.
But what is the? Let me ask you this: if you had it one way or the other, is it to have a set amount of days that you are allowed to wear the protesting shirts that don't get fined, or is it to continue to wear the shirts and continue to get fined? But don't mention the fines to the media. Just, accept the fact that I have decided to take a stand, and with that comes a price, and we all go on about our day, and we still pay attention. Like, what would have been the exact right way for this to keep
Well, there
going?
are a lot of athletes out there right now that are doing tremendous things. We just talked about Michael Jordan, okay, with Carmelo Anthony.
Right.
They had to cancel practice today because they're in the L.A. community right now, meeting with the police, meeting with leaders. Chris Paul, I went to an event where Kobe Bryant and the police chief was there. Like, there's so many ways you can get the message out there and really some traction and movement and not be in violation. Use that platform for good instead of being disruptive with the platform. And I think that, look, it's just a T-shirt, and I understand it's a violation. We've seen Brandon Marshall get fined for mental awareness.
Right.
We've seen before D'Angelo Williams and breast cancer awareness. We get it, but at the same time, I just think that everyone should just stick within the rules and still use your great leverage for good instead of in this way where it becomes a violation of sort.
Man. A bit controversial in your
part,
Smiley.
Yeah. See what happened with Max Lee?
God, hot takes everywhere.
It's crazy, right?
Up next, this guy gives a whole new meaning to the term power nap. Is he okay? Or
no, he's not. There's mayonnaise on his head. I don't think he's okay.
Is it mayonnaise? Everyone, time for Pulse of the Nation, presented by Toyota. Winners, losers, and a fan at an England-Pakistan cricket match fell asleep. People around him proceeded to dump garbage all over him.
That is a fantastic sculpture that they've got going there.
That is. But we all should be
asleep.
We should be envy of someone that is that deep asleep. Like, that's beyond REM sleep.
That's a clear conscience person.
Yeah.
You have no guilt. Nothing.
He's going to live to 100 because he gets
You're
good
outdoors.
sleep.
He might be 100.
You drink a beer, that's what you do.
Wow.
I thought this was I assumed this was a baseball game. I didn't know cricket fans.
Yeah.
That guy's not even wearing a shirt. Is that a unicorn?
Did he come by himself? No friends, huh? No one.
No, that's his son right next to him, pointing out where to put the next object.
There's ice cream melting on that man.
Loser.
What the hell is going on?
Yeah, I hope so. Loser. Coordination. Team USA's game versus China yesterday. DeAndre Jordan dribbled the ball off of his foot, hit an official in the man region, and also airballed a free throw attempt. Let's choose which of the three is most embarrassing. Ramona?
I mean, it continues to be very embarrassing whenever DeAndre Jordan airballs a
that.
I mean, he does it all the time, and
He's
never
sweaty.
It's always funny.
Yeah.
No, he's just.
And he's like with the best players in the world and the best coaches in the world and still can't get that right. It's all good.
I mean, just hit something.
But he is so good, especially at the international game, because nobody can rebound out there.
Just embarrassing.
That's why we're going to kill teams by like 50 because we get all the rebounds. If you watch these games, it is embarrassing for these other teams. Even if they're tall, they can't rebound.
Like, it's not even into the game. Mark Stein turns to me and says, "This might be a shutout."
Yeah, it really will be.
Winner. Budget. There's a photo of Tim Duncan on the interweb. He's at Old Navy over the weekend. Marcellus.
Yes, ma'am.
You're also very cheap when it comes to clothing.
Very cheap.
Are you two soulies when it comes to fashion?
Maybe we should, because...
Can I check the label? What do you got?
I don't know about Old Navy, though. He's too tall for Old Navy, no?
Again, Old Navy is great for staples. $200, you come out with 12 bags full of shorts and T-shirts. I'm assuming cargo pants.
Yeah.
Like all kinds of goodies. Bathing suits.
Yeah.
They have everything at Old Navy.
I just want someone to follow Tim Duncan around because I want to know what he's doing now. Like, I want to know where he goes. Somebody
Grocery store.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look,
Things like
people
that.
were
In the box.
They were clowning me yesterday. I was on Southwest yesterday. So what? I was
Hey.
squeezing into that seat. I
Did
like
you pay a
South-
little extra to get on first?
Yeah,
That's
a little
first class. Loser, print projectors. Andre Drummond got dunked on not once,
Oh, my.
but twice at the Drew
good.
League. Can
Oh,
he ever
man.
show up again to the Drew League after that? By the way, who's the guy that did it?
Yeah.
I feel like that's important to the
I
story,
think he
you know?
should show up to redeem himself, but boy, they don't play at the Drew League. Like, it's funny, like the
Seriously?
NBA level, the gap between the top ones and then the guys who are hungry to try to become the top ones, it is slim, man. Those
They're
guys are
always
good.
League
strong.
legends out there.
Yeah.
One day, Baron Davis will probably do a documentary about it.
Yeah, he
But
did.
these guys, Pooh Jeter is one of them. Micah Fibra is another. Those guys are Drew League
Yeah,
legends.
Barron did
Can
the
they play on
documentary.
our team for the ESPN thing?
I'm
we're
working
doing?
on it.
Yeah, let's get some ringers in this
Yeah.
thing, man.
Yeah, it's a good documentary. Get
Loser.
through it.
Golf swings. Jerome Bettis played in the celebrity golf tournament this weekend, and
Oh.
yep,
Oh,
that
man.
happened.
So good.
Oh, man.
It's not. Look,
Oh.
I don't think it's
Bussy.
as bad as Charlie
Bussy.
It went
Barkley's.
straight.
Can we see it again? See when your belly starts your swing, it's just, come on, Bussy.
It's like his left arm sort of had a seizure mid decision
I
to
mean,
do it.
That bus ain't left Bristol in a
You
minute.
did that in public.
It's not as bad as Barkley's. I don't look. This is come on.
No, nothing's better.
That's
That
Here's
was
the thing
worse
is,
than
you
that.
know you're bad at golf, and yet you still went on a televised
Of course.
public event and did that.
Oh, I would.
Over and over.
If you're these two
That's
guys,
called
of course I
being
am.
secure in
Right.
yourself.
Yeah, what do you care? You've
Gotta
already
laugh
lived the
at yourself.
important part of stuff.
Hang in there, Buff.
Besides, it's still fun. Loser. Privacy. Steve Pierce of the Rays used the bathroom in the clubhouse and left the door opened, and it got caught on television.
What?
I will not judge because
we allowed to show this?
who amongst us has not done that?
I was about
Ramona?
to say, oh, that's all he did?
I mean, I guess
That's not that
every
bad.
day, that means you're just comfortable with your teammate.
Okay.
It's a natural bodily function. I don't know why.
Ramona,
my
tell me if this is, well, no, it can happen for you. The Gatorade, let's just say
Yes,
all,
it can. Don't assume.
let's just say all the Gatorade on the sidelines in the NFL is not Gatorade, if you know what I'm saying.
What?
There are,
Okay, you just took
I
it to
don't
a
wanna
place
know
that
that.
I
Yep.
don't believe we were discussing.
yep. So I've
Let's just
seen
say,
worse.
side of highways on a long road trip. Who am I to judge this gentleman?
Big gulp cups
long game.
come in
Door,
handy.
no one can see anything.
Yeah, we grew up with a
for
big gulp
snakes.
cup in
That's
the
it.
background. Right in the back seat, my
You
dad.
have a real problem with this.
They come in handy,
Like,
don't they?